Hey, it's Tim with the University of Vinyl. Thank you for tuning in again today. As always, if you are new, check out today's video. Check out some of my previous videos. If you like what you see, a quick like, and consider subscribing. Much appreciated. Okay, let's get into, first of all, I need to say thank you to everyone who watched last week's video, maybe chimed in with a comment. Picked up a lot of new subscribers, and that video was my most viewed video of 2025. So thanks, everybody. There will be a part 2, and if you haven't seen it, go back, check it out. It is called 5 Elusive Pressings that I'm always looking for in the back of my mind. If I go to a record shop, those are the 5 pressings I'm always looking for. And there will be a part 2, sooner rather than later, as soon as I can get to that. So, thanks everybody. Okay, we are now just past the first half of the year. And I did one of these last year. I like to do kind of a state of the collection, recent arrivals, and where I am in my kind of collecting journey right now. So first of all, you can probably see up there on the shelf, the elephant in the room. I was lucky enough to get one of the Beatles in mono, one of the mono box sets. First time it's been reissued since 2014. Hopefully they're going to be pressing more. I know the demand is there. But I got super lucky, made it in under the wire. It arrived late last week. I think Friday or Saturday. I have done a quick inspection on everything. I'm in the middle of play testing some of the records. No issues. I did have, the flip back on the White Album, like a lot of people are reporting. It's come unglued. Not the end of the world, but visually speaking, all of my records are perfect. I don't see any marks on anything, including Magical Mystery Tour. I know that's been reported that there's been a mark there, but so far so good. I may do a video on that box a little further on down the road. I need some more time to digest and listen. So this is going to be new arrivals, but yeah, that's the first big one right there. Long time coming. I actually sold off a couple of individual titles that I had, acquired over the years because I never had a chance to get the box. Vinyl wasn't on my radar in 2014 when that box came out. So, super pleased. All right, first thing I want to show is something new I've added to the collection. Probably about a month and a half ago. I was at Wax Trax Records in Denver. This is the second Bob Mould record, Black Sheets of Rain. This is an amazing title. It's an original US on Virgin. I've talked about Workbook, the first Bob Mould solo record, ad infinitum here on this channel. This is something I've been looking for years because it's kind of 180 degrees, although there were hints on Workbook that the next record was going to be heavier. It was going to be more Husker Dewey than Workbook was. And this thing delivers in spades. It's an amazing record. This thing is still in the shrink, and super happy to find this. With Black Sheets of Rain, he had the same rhythm section, Tony Maimone on bass, and the late, great Anton Fear on drums. That's not coming through all that great. I'm going to keep the shrink on this one, I've decided. I love this hype as well. Also at Wax Trax, and this is quite timely. Some might say is the incredible Oasis single from the second album, 1995. But the real kicker here is Acquies. If you know Oasis, you know Acquies is just an incredible song. Nigel handles the lead vocals, but Noel handles the chorus. and it sends that song into overdrive. It is probably my favorite Oasis song of all time. It was always a B-side, originally appeared here, and this was, of course, a 45 RPM. This is a UK original. Super happy I found this at Wax Trax. And then, you know, it showed up on that B-Sides album that I had on compact disc called The Master Plan. And it is amazing. You know, I saw Oasis. Here's the old man rant. I saw Oasis back in 2005 in Manchester at Manchester City Stadium. I had a former business partner of mine that was from Cardiff. He was a incredibly rabid Oasis fan, and we went to a Saturday night show. Super Furry Animals were there, and honestly, the whole thing is a little hazy. It was an incredible scene, and 2005, I'm good with Oasis. I'm not seeking tickets to any of the reunion shows. I am kind of shocked that Joey Warenacher is drumming for them. Beck's longtime drummer, of course, he did a couple tours with REM as well, specifically the Up Tour in 99, 2000. I was kind of surprised to see him behind a drum kit. Anyway, Acquies. Stream it if you don't know it. If you know Oasis, of course you know Acquies. It is a banger. This whole thing is a banger. Hey, I want to switch gears and talk about some new music. And I want to talk about new music from people who are from this big wide world called the vinyl community. And it's pretty cool because one of these guys sent me their new record, and I've been friendly with the other guy for a few years now, thanks to watching his videos and he watching mine. And I went ahead and bought his new record on Bandcamp when it was announced. Let's start with that one because that is the first one that I picked up. And that is the latest record from Material Objects, fronted by Dom from Seeking a Thread. Hey Dom, this is fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. I'm getting further and further into it. You know, I was putting some notes together for this video, and I actually streamed a few songs at my desktop. This is really cool, and I don't think Dom's gonna mind me saying that. This is like mid to late 1990s. This is what used to be known as alternative rock. And it is really cool. And you've got to check out the hype sticker from our beloved friend who is now mainly doing Instagram stuff, the Reverend Rock and Rollin'. Really cool hype. This reminds me, I'm getting really, really strong vibes of a band that I love and that I saw originally when I lived in Chicago, fronted by Tim Rutilli, Red Meat. This is the incredible record Jimmy Wine Majestic that I've had in my collection for quite a while now. And then the other band that I think about a lot in listening to this, and that's not to say that this is kind of like derivative or copying anything. This is its own original thing, and it's fantastic. But the other band that this kind of reminds me of is 11th Dream Day, if you know 11th Dream Day. I think they're still around, actually. Still putting out records. But another band from my Chicago days, back to 1989, 1990. Anyway, this is really cool. Dom's vocals are great. The band is great. They went the extra mile. They recorded this at the Electrical Company, Steve Albini's studio facility in Chicago, Wicker Park. Thanks, Dom. I'm really enjoying this. This is really cool. So where Dom's record, in revision, I didn't even say the title earlier, this record, self-titled, is called The Freight. Adam Tiro is the lead vocalist and lead guitarist, and he's an incredible, on both ends of that spectrum. He's amazing. These guys are from, I think, a suburb of Boston. Adam was nice enough to kind of send me an advanced copy and a little press kit, some tchotchkes and stickers. Really cool. Thank you, Adam. I am really enjoying this. I just gave this another spin. I've spinned it a few times now, and in putting together notes, I did stream a few songs as well. I have a couple notes. Where Dom's band is alternative rock, Adam's band, The Freight, has more, let's say, AOR mainstream leanings. And, one thing that really stands out, this is like some blues and Memphis soul, a little bit of mainstream rock, a little bit of jam band. He's taking, kind of cues from the Allman Brothers. I actually pick up a little Eddie Money in here as well in some of these songs. There's a ton of really cool organ work on many of these tracks that have me thinking, back to late 1969, 1970 Traffic, a few of those songs. One in particular, what was the one I was thinking about? The first song on the record is called Opportunity, and that is just interwoven with sweet organ lines, and it makes me think a little bit about Empty Pages from Traffic. So let me know if anyone else has heard this record and if you're getting those vibes as well. But Adam, what an amazing record, amazing effort. They went the extra mile just like Dom did. And these guys actually went and got this cut. The lacquers were done by Ryan K. Smith at Sterling Sound in Nashville. And a really nice little custom label. One of the better sounding records I've heard this year as far as sound quality is concerned. And just a lot of emotion, real kind of wear it on your sleeve, soul and bluesy stuff. Adam's a good vocalist. I already said that earlier. The bass lines on Long Road Home are amazing. So props to your bass player. Adam, thank you for sending me this. And this is highly recommended. Go check it out on his website. Look him up on Instagram. Watch his videos. He also knows a ton about music, and looks like he's getting more into jazz or, interesting stuff, Adam. Next up is a reissue that I just got in the mail from Tiny Ghost Records. Tiny Ghost Records is the little imprint managed by Robin Hitchcock. Yeah, I mean, the Soft Boys, Underwater, Moonlight, need I say more? What I will say is that this is a brand new pressing, a brand new remaster. It was pressed just down the road from me in Denver at Paramount Pressing. That's a plant that has done the Gillian Welch and David Rawlings' latest record. They've done some Gillian reissues. They're doing more stuff. Gary Sahlstrom is the plant manager. He came from QRP. This was pressed on a translucent super audio vinyl, I think is what they're calling it. It's dead silent. It's pretty dynamic. I need to do an A/B against my original UK copy, but this is a record that needs to be in print. And it's a really cool 45th anniversary issue. It's available on black vinyl, which is the one that I went with. And then I think they have this color and maybe the blue as well. It also comes with a really cool, I don't know how many pages this thing is, but David Frick, Rolling Stone fame, wrote this along with Robin Hitchcock. Underwater Moonlight, great reissue, happy to have it in the collection. There is the label on mine. Here's the original US pressing of Full Moon Fever, the incredible Tom Petty solo album. I wore out the CD, and this was on the wall recently at Driver 8 Records. I've talked about Driver 8. They're here in Fort Collins, Colorado. You know, I worked out a trade, a partial trade. I actually had a later reissue that was kind of a translucent blue and much more valuable than I thought it was. But I worked out a trade with Charles and, you know, kind of a partial trade-in cash deal. Was really happy to get this. This sounds fantastic. It came with the original inner sleeve, if you remember that. And there is that original label. Full Moon Fever. I have been watching the next record on Discogs for 4 years now. And it's a record that again brings me back to my early days in the early 90s in Chicago. First heard this on WXRT. This is Rumor Inside, the amazing Richard Thompson solo record from 1991. The single that WXRT played all the time was I Feel So Good. And this was produced by Mitchell Froom. So there is definitely kind of a poppy, a positive vibe on this record. And a really nice organic feel to some of these songs. And Richard Thompson's guitar work, amazing as usual. And of course this includes the Stone Cold classic, the final song on side 1. 1952, Black Vincent Lightning, talking about a motorcycle, and it's basically acoustic with some organic organ thrown in all the right places. But this was a European pressing, and this was a Discogs pickup, a seller in Portugal, amazing shape, good pricing, and quick shipping. Another really good Discogs story from my end. So happy. And yes, what would this video be without talking about another Acquies 2 pressing? You know, I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer, ladies and gentlemen. That video is going to be coming sometime within now and Christmas. Believe me, I think we're getting closer. And that is another Acquies 2 pressing. This one, Heartbeat City, an amazing record. You know, I kind of think back and I've been saying amazing and incredible too much. Not only in this video, but others. I need to work on that. Anyway, really cool. Yes, the record is translucent. It is in near mint condition. This was picked up at Twist and Shout Records in Denver. And I've been looking for this for a very, very long time. I am down to probably 5 or 6 titles that will kind of complete the set that I'm working on, which is all of the badged, the black badged Acquies 2 pressings. You know, they actually changed this badge to a white badge. You'll find that on Southern Accents. The Petty record came out with that second generation Acquies 2. Anyway, Heartbeat City, fantastic pressing. Sounds great. Don't need to MoFi. Very happy. last but not least, I've done a whole video on this that got a ton of views as well. This was a Collectco purchase. You know, they do a Facebook stream. I think they're doing it on YouTube now. They're doing it on Twitch. They buy collections and sell records. They also run some auctions, but they're doing this, I think, 6 nights a week. This is the Police Synchronicity, and this is the second most rare color variant that's out there. The only one that's more rare is the same gold, silver, bronze, but there are no photos. It's just color swatches, okay? Now, there are also black and white variants. But in my research and looking around on Discogs forums, I think there were less variants of this color scheme released than the black and white variant, which had different photo plates of the band members. But anyway, there you have it. An incredible find on Collectco. It was an auction. I got into a little bit of a bidding war. Check out that video if you want to hear more about this, but super happy with that. That's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. You know, here it is, late July. Next week is August. I can't believe it. Stay tuned for more amazing content from the University of Vinyl. My name is Tim. Thanks for watching.